Hi, I'm Rosario with the Veronica Encinas team at 𝐬𝐲 Realty, and today I'm going to give you my bold predictions for the Orange County housing market in 2024. Let's start with interest rates. These are the hardest numbers to predict, and some economists find them too risky to even forecast. But we aren't economists. We're brave realtors, so here we go. As of this recording, interest rates are at about 6.5% on average. For many years before 2022, interest rates were around 4.5% or less and got to as low as 3% or so. Then in 2022, you may remember, rates jumped from about 3% to about 7%. Then they jumped again last year in 2023 to almost 8% before dropping to their current range. Our bold prediction for interest rates is that they will decrease in 2024. Okay, fine, that's not too bold. Most economists who make interest rate forecasts think rates will fall, but how about rates will decrease by the end of the year to 5.75%? That's where Bankrate.com's economists have rates going, and that's all they do is measure rates, so who are we to argue? Inventory. Here's where we have a bit more insight and our crystal ball gets a little less murky. The number of homes on the market has nowhere to go but up. We were at the lowest number of Orange County homes on the market in December in the last 20 years. By the way, that's as far as our software would go. How low did we go? For perspective, before the pandemic, inventory was 3 times as high as today. And before the Great Recession, there were 5 times as many homes on the market. With interest rates coming down a bit, that should encourage some sellers with these great 3 to 4% interest rates to sell and take on a smaller increase in interest rate on their next home. Also, with prices up 7% in Orange County from 2023 to 2024, we think some sellers who were discouraged by prices in 2022 or so will be encouraged to jump into the market now. We think inventory will increase at least 15% over the course of the year. And that would still make 2024 an anemic market in terms of inventory, but every little bit helps. Now, prices. This is really what you came for, isn't it? For prices, what will lower rates and higher inventory mean for Orange County? We think that both buyers and sellers will see that rates fell and prices were up last year, causing supply and demand to both increase, and that will lead to a 7% increase in home prices in 2024. That is in line with the increase we saw last year. It's worth mentioning that home prices are seasonal. They're usually flat or they increase slightly in this first quarter of the year. That was the case at least until the pandemic hit. In 2021, 2, and 3, buying started picking up in February, and in response, prices rose 3 to 4% in March alone in each of those 3 years. Those March sales represented sellers whose homes were on the market in February. So, assuming the same pattern plays out this year, as a seller, you could put your home on the market now and start getting price appreciation right away. As a buyer, if you're worried about prices, you'd want to buy as soon as possible because prices usually increase through the spring and summer months. Some years the peak has been even later in the year. A reasonable pattern for the year would be prices up in the first half of the year 5 to 10% and the back half of the year up or down 2%. That's it for our bold predictions for 2024. Now, Veronica said I couldn't make predictions here about the Oscars, so if you want those predictions, call me. Otherwise, if you need guidance on when to buy or sell a home in 2024, reach out to us today.